In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, one God, amen. My beloved, many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22:14. If you found your way to this sermon, it's not by accident. There are no coincidences for the chosen ones. You were led here, drawn to this message, because you already know there's something different about you. A sense of responsibility, a weight on your shoulders that others don't seem to carry. You may not have always understood it, but deep down, you've known you are meant for more. This sermon is not for everyone. No, this is dedicated to the chosen ones, the rare souls with a divine mission on this earth. If you're not one of the chosen, you might as well turn back now. The truths revealed here will only resonate with those who have been set apart by a higher call. For the rest, these words will fall flat. But for you, the chosen, they will be like keys unlocking doors that were always meant to open for you. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to reveal could alter the course of your spiritual journey. These are the secrets that will help you guard your spirit and walk your path with power, wisdom, and protection. You cannot afford to neglect these truths. Your mission is too important, and the forces against you are too strong to face without preparation. Now, let's begin. The importance of secrecy for the chosen ones. As a chosen one, there are certain things you must keep to yourself. You may already know this intuitively. People around you sense something different about you. And some may be drawn to your light while others may feel threatened by it. Not everyone has your best interests at heart, and not everyone can understand the path you walk. That's why the first lesson we must cover is the importance of secrecy. Secrecy, not as in dishonesty, but as in discernment. Knowing what to share and with whom. This is crucial for your protection, both spiritually and emotionally. There are certain truths, certain insights, and yes, certain vulnerabilities that are meant for you alone or only for a select few. Why is that, you ask? Because not everyone will understand. Some will mock, others will doubt, and worse yet, there are those who will use your own words and revelations against you. The chosen ones are often misunderstood, and in this misunderstanding lies danger. Jesus himself said, "Do not give what is holy to dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn and tear you in pieces." Matthew 7:6. As a chosen one, you carry pearls, wisdom, gifts, and a spiritual anointing that not everyone is ready to receive or respect. You need to protect these. You are not meant to expose every aspect of your journey or your spiritual insight to those who are not on the same wavelength. You must practice discernment in every interaction. Now let's dive into the first secret that you must keep to protect yourself. Sacred one, protect your spiritual insights. Your spiritual insights are sacred. Not every revelation you receive is meant to be shared openly, especially not with those who are spiritually blind. As a chosen one, you will be given wisdom and understanding that others might find confusing or even laughable. This is not because you're wrong, it's because they are not yet ready to understand what has been revealed to you. Think of the prophets throughout history. They often spoke in parables or kept certain revelations hidden until the time was right. Why? Because they knew the weight of what they carried. Sharing these divine insights prematurely or with the wrong people could lead to ridicule, persecution, and even spiritual attack. You need to treat your spiritual revelations like a treasure. They are not for casual conversation or for satisfying someone else's curiosity. Your insights are gifts from the divine, meant to guide you and strengthen you for your journey. If shared carelessly, these precious truths can be diminished in the eyes of others or worse, they can be twisted and used against you. Let me be clear. This doesn't mean you never share your wisdom. There will be moments when the Spirit prompts you to speak, and you will know when the time is right. But until that moment arrives, guard your insights carefully. Trust your inner knowing. The divine has given you this wisdom for a reason. And part of that reason is to protect it until it can be revealed in the proper time and place. If you've ever felt misunderstood after sharing something deep and spiritual, this is why. The world isn't ready for everything you know. The path of the chosen is not an easy one. And part of that difficulty comes from carrying knowledge that others are not yet ready to understand. But that's okay. You're not here to convince everyone. You're here to fulfill your mission. And part of that mission is knowing when to stay silent. Secret 2, keep your vulnerabilities hidden. The second secret you must keep as a chosen one is your vulnerabilities. Yes, even the chosen ones have weaknesses. You may be divinely guided, but you are still human. And humans are prone to moments of doubt, fear, and exhaustion. These vulnerabilities, however, should not be exposed to everyone. Why? Because not everyone will offer you compassion. In fact, many will use your moments of weakness to attack you spiritually or emotionally. We live in a world where energy is currency, and when you show vulnerability to the wrong people, you open yourself up to being drained. Spiritual parasites exist, and they are drawn to the light of the chosen ones, not because they appreciate it, but because they seek to extinguish it. You must be discerning about who you trust with your heart. The world is full of people who will appear supportive to your face only to speak against you behind your back. These are the people who, if they know where your cracks are, will exploit them. I'm not saying you should hide your humanity altogether. No, we all need moments of connection. And we all need trusted individuals who can see us at our most vulnerable and still offer love and support. But those individuals are few and far between. They are not the masses. They are the ones you find through prayer, through divine guidance, and through testing. Don't give your heart away freely. Consider Jesus in his final hours. He didn't expose his fears and anguish to the crowd. He brought only his closest disciples with him to the Garden of Gethsemane. Even then, he understood the importance of privacy in his most vulnerable moments. Learn from this. Share your struggles with those who have proven themselves to be worthy. But keep your inner sanctum guarded against those who would use your pain for their own gain. You, the chosen one, are on a divine mission. The insights and vulnerabilities you carry are sacred, and they are not for everyone. As you continue your journey, remember this truth. Not all ears are ready to hear, and not all hearts are ready to understand. Protect what has been entrusted to you. Guard your spirit with the wisdom that not all things are meant to be shared openly. Secret 3, guard your energy like a sacred flame. Let's talk about your energy. Have you ever noticed how people seem drawn to you, as if they can sense there's something different about you? It's because as a chosen one, your energy radiates differently. You carry a light within you that others may not fully understand, but they feel it. This is both a blessing and a burden. Your energy is your spiritual currency. It is the fuel that powers your divine mission. But here's the thing. There are people out there, and even spiritual entities, that will seek to drain you of this energy. These are the people who always seem to need something from you, but offer nothing in return. The ones who come to you with their problems, their negativity and their drama, all the while pulling from your spiritual reserves. They see the light in you, and instead of being inspired to seek their own, they attempt to siphon yours. It's no accident that you feel drained after certain interactions. That's not your imagination, it's your spirit telling you that your energy is being depleted by someone who does not have your best interests at heart. Now understand this, you are not obligated to pour into everyone. Yes, you are called to serve, but you must also be discerning. Not everyone who seeks your energy is deserving of it. Some are only there to consume, to take, and to leave you empty. This is why guarding your energy is one of the most important secrets for a chosen one. Without it, you will find yourself depleted, weakened, and unable to fulfill the mission you've been called to complete. How do you guard your energy? First, recognize when you're being drained. Pay attention to your body, your emotions, and your spirit. When you feel that heavy, exhausted sensation after being around someone, that's a sign the divine has given you the gift of intuition for a reason. Trust it. If someone consistently leaves you feeling worse off than before, they are not contributing to your spiritual growth. You must distance yourself. Second, practice the art of saying no. As a chosen one, you are often inclined to help, to heal, to guide. That's part of your nature. But remember, even healers need rest. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you wise. It's a boundary that protects your energy, allowing you to reserve it for those who truly need and appreciate it, and for your own spiritual journey. Third, be selective about who you allow into your inner circle. Not everyone deserves access to your presence, to your energy. The people you keep closest to you should be those who lift you up, who energize you, and who understand the sacredness of your spiritual path. Surround yourself with individuals who contribute to your growth, not those who feed off your energy for their own gain. Remember, Jesus himself was selective about who he spent his time with. He did not give himself fully to everyone he encountered. He had his disciples, his closest circle, and even within that, there were levels of intimacy and trust. Learn from this example. Be wise about who you let into your spiritual and emotional space. Secret 4, keep your presence sacred. Now let's go deeper. Beyond your energy, let's talk about your presence. Your very being, the essence of who you are, is sacred. This isn't just about the energy you give, but the space you occupy in this world. Your presence carries a weight, a divine purpose. And as a chosen one, you must understand the power of that presence. Have you ever entered a room and felt the atmosphere shift? Or maybe you've spoken a few words and suddenly everyone's attention is on you. That's because your presence is magnetic. Whether you realize it or not, you carry an aura that affects the spaces you enter. This is not by accident, it's part of your calling. But with great presence comes great responsibility. Not everyone is worthy of sharing space with you. Now that might sound harsh, but it's the truth. As a chosen one, you have been set apart for a higher purpose. And not everyone can handle that. Some people will be intimidated by your presence. Some will be envious. And others will try to diminish your light because it threatens their own sense of self. This is why you must be intentional about the spaces you enter and the people you allow to share your presence. How do you protect your presence? First, be mindful of the environments you place yourself in. Certain places carry negative energy, and as a chosen one, you are more sensitive to these energies than most. Walking into an environment filled with hostility, jealousy, or spiritual darkness can affect you deeply. Your presence may shift the atmosphere, but it can also be attacked by the energies that reside there. Protect yourself by being discerning about where you go and who you spend your time with. Second, understand that your presence is a gift. Not everyone deserves to bask in it. This is not about arrogance. It's about protecting the sacredness of who you are. You wouldn't throw a priceless treasure into the mud. So why would you place your sacred presence in environments or relationships that diminish your light? Choose wisely. You're not here to be everyone's friend, confidant, or guide. Your mission is too important for that. Third, embrace the power of solitude. As a chosen one, there will be times when you need to retreat from the world, to recharge, to reconnect with the divine, and to protect your presence from being overexposed. Solitude is not loneliness. It's a form of spiritual preservation. When you withdraw, you allow your spirit to renew itself, to receive fresh revelations, and to strengthen for the journey ahead. Don't be afraid to take time for yourself. In fact, it is essential. Consider how often Jesus would withdraw from the crowds to be alone in prayer. He understood the importance of solitude in maintaining his spiritual strength and connection to the Father. If he needed that time, how much more do we? Your presence is powerful, but it also needs protection and renewal. Solitude is the key to that renewal. Chosen ones, your energy and your presence are your most valuable asset. They are the foundation of your spiritual power, your mission, and your ability to impact the world. But they are also fragile if left unprotected. You must guard your energy with discernment and wisdom, and you must treat your presence as the sacred gift that it is. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every environment is conducive to your growth. By setting boundaries, practicing discernment, and embracing the power of solitude, you protect the essence of who you are. And in doing so, you ensure that you are equipped to fulfill your divine mission. Secret 5, the power of silence. As a chosen one, silence is one of your greatest allies. In a world that thrives on noise, where everyone wants to be heard, there is immense power in holding your tongue. Now, this doesn't mean living in constant secrecy or never speaking your truth. Rather, it means knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. There is a reason why the great spiritual masters of old often spoke very little. Silence holds a different energy, a divine energy. In silence, you communicate with the spiritual realm in ways that words cannot. Think about it. How often have you regretted words spoken in haste or out of frustration? Words are powerful. They create, they destroy, and they can never be taken back once released into the world. But silence? Silence is a space of reflection, of contemplation, and of gathering power. When you choose to remain silent, especially in moments when others expect you to react, you are harnessing control over your own energy. In silence, you gather wisdom. You learn to observe, to discern, and to understand the deeper meaning behind situations that would otherwise provoke an emotional response. Silence as a shield. As a chosen one, there will be times when people will provoke you, question you, or challenge your spiritual path. In these moments, silence can be your greatest shield. When you refrain from responding to negativity or attempts to stir conflict, you preserve your energy and protect your peace. Not every battle is yours to fight, and sometimes the wisest course of action is to say nothing at all. Consider this: Jesus remained silent before his accusers. Even when questioned, even when mocked, he chose silence over defense. Why? Because he knew that his mission and truth did not require validation from the world. He was secure in who he was and what he had come to do. As a chosen one, you must adopt the same mindset. You don't need to justify yourself to those who do not understand your path. Let them speak, let them question, but choose silence as your response. In doing so, you maintain control over your own spiritual energy. When to speak and when to be silent. Now let's make something clear. There are moments when you will be called to speak, when the Spirit moves you to share your wisdom or to defend a righteous cause. Do so without hesitation, but know the difference between a divine calling to speak and an emotional reaction. How do you know when to speak and when to stay silent? The answer lies in discernment. Before responding to a situation, especially one that feels emotionally charged, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will my words bring light, or will they feed into the darkness? Will my response serve my mission, or is it simply a reaction to someone else's ignorance or negativity? More often than not, silence is the more powerful response. In silence, you maintain your dignity, your energy, and your focus. You deny the opposition any power over you. And most importantly, you leave space for divine wisdom to guide your next steps. Secret 6, the art of discretion. Discretion goes hand in hand with silence, but it operates on a different level. Discretion is about knowing what to reveal and what to withhold. As a chosen one, there are aspects of your life, your spiritual path, and your mission that must remain hidden. This isn't about living in fear or secrecy. It's about understanding that not everything is meant to be shared. We live in a world obsessed with oversharing. Social media, constant communication, and the need for validation have led many to reveal every detail of their life to the public. But for the chosen ones, this is dangerous. Your spiritual journey is sacred, and not everyone is meant to witness it. Why discretion matters? Discretion protects you from unnecessary spiritual attacks. When you reveal too much about yourself, your plans, your struggles, your victories, you open the door for others to interfere in your journey. Some will do so out of jealousy, others out of malice, and some without even realizing the harm they cause. Think of your spiritual path like a delicate plant. It needs time to grow, to develop roots, and to strengthen before it can withstand the elements. If you expose it too soon, it becomes vulnerable to the wind, the rain, and even those who may step on it unknowingly. Your journey is no different. Until you are fully rooted in your mission, you must be selective about what you share and with whom. This doesn't mean you should never share your experiences. There will be times when sharing your story will inspire others, and there will be moments when the Spirit prompts you to reveal certain aspects of your journey. But those moments must be guided by divine wisdom, not by the desire for attention or validation. Protecting your spiritual progress. Discretion is particularly important when it comes to your spiritual progress. As you grow, you will experience revelations, breakthroughs, and moments of divine clarity. These are precious gifts meant to strengthen you and guide you on your path. But not everyone is ready to hear or understand what you've been given. Sharing these revelations prematurely can lead to misunderstanding, mockery, or even spiritual attack. The enemy, both in the physical and spiritual realms, thrives on information. The more they know about your journey, your weaknesses, and your plans, the easier it is for them to disrupt your progress. This is why discretion is essential. Keep your spiritual growth private until it is time for it to be revealed. Move in silence and let your success and spiritual power speak for itself when the time is right. Discretion in relationships. Discretion also extends to your relationships. As a chosen one, you will form connections with others who are on a similar spiritual path, and these relationships will be vital to your growth. However, not every relationship deserves public attention. There are connections that should remain private, sacred, even because they are divinely orchestrated for a purpose. This is especially true when it comes to romantic relationships. As a chosen one, you may find yourself attracting individuals who are drawn to your light, but not necessarily aligned with your mission. Be discerning about who you allow into your inner circle and who you share your deepest truths with. Discretion in your relationships ensures that the sacredness of your connection remains protected from outside interference and negativity. The power of moving in silence. Finally, let's talk about the power of moving in silence. This means making decisions, working on projects, and making progress in your spiritual journey without announcing your every move. There is immense power in silence, because it allows you to build without distraction, interference, or unnecessary scrutiny. When you move in silence, you give yourself the space to grow without the pressure of outside opinions or expectations. You can focus solely on your mission and your connection to the divine, and when the time comes to reveal the fruits of your labor, the impact will be undeniable. Chosen ones, silence and discretion are your spiritual armor. In a world that thrives on noise and oversharing, you must walk a different path. Choose your words carefully. Protect your spiritual progress. And be discerning about who you allow into your inner circle. Remember, not everything is meant to be shared, and not every battle requires a response. By embracing the power of silence and discretion, you protect your energy, your presence, and your divine mission. Secret 7, master your emotions. Emotions are part of the human experience. Even as a chosen one, you will experience the full spectrum of emotions. Emotion, limited joy, sorrow, anger, love, frustration. But here's where your path differs from others. You cannot afford to let your emotions control you. To be effective in your mission, you must learn to master them. The key to mastering your emotions is not to suppress them, but to understand them. You must know where they come from, why they arise, and how to channel them in a way that serves your purpose rather than disrupts it. This is no easy task, but it is necessary. Why is emotional mastery so important? Because as a chosen one, you are a spiritual warrior. And like any warrior, you must remain calm and focused, even in the heat of battle. When emotions take over, you lose control. Your judgment becomes clouded, and your ability to make wise decisions diminishes. The enemy, whether spiritual or physical, thrives on chaos. If you are ruled by your emotions, you become vulnerable to manipulation, distraction, and defeat. Think about the story of Moses. Even after leading his people out of Egypt, he struggled with his emotions. In a moment of frustration, he struck the rock instead of speaking to it as God had instructed. This act of anger cost him the chance to enter the promised land. Numbers 27:2. This shows us that even the most divinely chosen leaders can fall victim to their emotions if they don't learn to master them. How to master your emotions? Mastering your emotions begins with self-awareness. You must become attuned to your inner world. When you feel anger rising, when sadness begins to overwhelm you, or when anxiety creeps in, pause. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this? What is the root of this emotion? Often emotions are tied to deeper issues, fears, unresolved trauma, unmet expectations. Understanding the root helps you address the cause rather than reacting to the surface emotion. Next, practice emotional regulation. This is the ability to manage your emotions in a healthy and productive way. It's about responding rather than reacting. When you feel a strong emotion, don't act on it immediately. Take a moment to breathe, to center yourself, and to ask what is the wisest course of action. This simple pause can prevent you from making decisions you'll later regret. Remember that emotional mastery does not mean you ignore or suppress your emotions. In fact, doing so can be dangerous. Suppressed emotions don't disappear, they fester and eventually explode. Instead, acknowledge your feelings, but don't let them dictate your actions. You are the master of your emotions, not the other way around. Channeling emotions for spiritual strength. Your emotions can also be a source of power if channeled correctly. When you experience righteous anger, for example, it can be used to fuel positive change. Anger over injustice can lead to action that brings about spiritual or social transformation. Likewise, sorrow can lead to compassion, motivating you to heal and uplift others who are suffering. The key is to use your emotions as a tool, not a master. When you feel a strong emotion, ask yourself how you can channel it into something productive. Can your frustration inspire you to persevere? Can your sadness deepen your empathy for others? Can your joy be used to lift those around you? By transforming your emotions into spiritual power, you stay in control of your journey and remain aligned with your divine mission. Secret 8. Maintaining balance in all things. Balance is the cornerstone of a chosen one's life. Without balance, even the most powerful spiritual warrior can fall. Balance is what keeps you grounded, what allows you to walk the fine line between the spiritual and the physical worlds without losing yourself in either. But maintaining balance in today's chaotic world is not easy. You are constantly pulled in different directions: work, relationships, responsibilities, and of course, your spiritual path. If you are not careful, you can find yourself overwhelmed, burned out, or disconnected from your higher purpose. How to maintain balance as a chosen one? First, prioritize your spiritual life. As a chosen one, your spiritual connection is the foundation of everything you do. Without it, you will lose your sense of direction and purpose. No matter how busy life gets, make time each day for spiritual practices, prayer, meditation, reflection, or simply sitting in silence. This daily connection with the divine will center you and give you the clarity and strength you need to navigate the challenges of the world. Second, practice self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Your physical, mental, and emotional well-being are just as important as your spiritual health. Take care of your body through proper nutrition, rest, and exercise. Take care of your mind by setting boundaries, avoiding toxic environments, and engaging in activities that bring you joy and peace. Remember, balance is about taking care of the whole self, not just the spiritual aspect. Third, learn to say no. As a chosen one, people will naturally gravitate toward you, seeking your guidance, your light, your energy. While it's part of your mission to help and uplift others, you must also protect yourself from being overextended. You are not responsible for everyone's healing, and you cannot solve everyone's problems. Learn to discern when to step in and when to step back. Saying no is not selfish, it's necessary for maintaining balance. Fourth, cultivate a balanced mindset. This means avoiding extremes of any kind, whether in emotion, behavior, or belief. Extremes can lead to imbalance. Stay grounded. Seek wisdom from both spiritual and practical sources. Remember that you are living in both the spiritual and physical worlds, and each has its place in your journey. When you focus too much on one and neglect the other, imbalance follows. Balance is especially important in your relationships. As a chosen one, your relationships can either strengthen or weaken your spiritual path. Surround yourself with people who support your growth, who understand the importance of your mission, and who bring positivity into your life. At the same time, distance yourself from those who drain your energy or pull you away from your higher purpose. However, balance doesn't mean cutting off all relationships with those who are struggling or in need. It means knowing how much of yourself to give and when to step back to recharge. You are not called to be a martyr for everyone's issues, but you are called to be a light. Balance allows you to fulfill that role without losing yourself in the process. Maintaining balance between solitude and connection. Lastly, balance your time between solitude and connection. As we discussed earlier, solitude is vital for your spiritual renewal. It is in these quiet moments that you receive guidance, strength, and clarity from the divine. But equally important is your connection with others. As a chosen one, you are here to guide, inspire, and uplift. This requires interaction with the world around you. The key is finding a rhythm that works for you. Spend enough time alone to recharge your spirit, but don't isolate yourself from the world entirely. You have a mission to fulfill, and that mission requires you to engage with others. Balance solitude with meaningful connections, and you will find that your spiritual power grows stronger with each interaction. Chosen ones, mastering your emotions and maintaining balance are not just personal goals, they are essential for your spiritual survival and growth. Emotional mastery keeps you focused and in control, while balance ensures that you remain grounded and aligned with your mission. Remember, you are walking a sacred path, and every step requires awareness, discipline, and grace. By mastering your emotions and living a balanced life, you empower yourself to move through the world with strength, wisdom, and divine purpose. Secret 9, protect your spirit from negative energies and attacks. As a chosen one, you are more spiritually sensitive than most. You can feel the subtle energies around you, the vibrations of people, places, and situations. This heightened sensitivity is a gift, but it also makes you more susceptible to negative energies. Spiritual attacks, whether they come from people, environments, or unseen forces, are real. They can manifest as emotional exhaustion, confusion, doubt, fear, or even physical illness. That's why spiritual protection is crucial for your well-being and your ability to carry out your mission. How to protect your spirit? First, maintain a strong connection to the divine. Your relationship with the Creator, with God, is your ultimate source of protection. When you are in tune with the divine, you receive guidance, clarity, and a shield of spiritual protection. This connection is like a fortress around your spirit, shielding you from the negativity and darkness that seek to harm you. How do you maintain this connection? Through daily spiritual practices. Prayer, meditation, and reading sacred texts are essential. These practices keep you aligned with the divine grounding you in love, light, and wisdom. When you're spiritually grounded, external forces have less power over you. Second, use spiritual tools to enhance your protection. These tools might include prayer, affirmations, crystals, protective symbols, or even the simple act of calling on divine assistance. One of the most powerful prayers for protection is the Lord's Prayer, which Jesus gave us as a shield against evil. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Matthew 6:11-13. When you feel under attack, whether spiritually or emotionally, speak words of protection over yourself. Declare that you are surrounded by light and that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Third, cleanse your energy regularly. Just as your physical body needs to be cleansed, so does your spirit. Negative energies can attach themselves to you from your surroundings, from toxic people, or from stressful situations. Spiritual cleansing through rituals like smudging with sage, bathing in salt water, or simply visualizing white light washing over you helps you release these negative energies and return to a state of spiritual purity. Recognizing spiritual attacks. Not every challenge you face is a spiritual attack, but as a chosen one, you must be aware of the signs. Spiritual attacks often manifest as overwhelming feelings of fear, doubt, or confusion. You may feel disconnected from your purpose or from the divine, and things that normally inspire you may suddenly feel meaningless. You may also experience unusual conflict in your relationships, a sense of heaviness or recurring negative thoughts. When you recognize these signs, don't panic. Understand that this is an attempt to pull you off your path. It's in these moments that spiritual protection becomes even more important. Pray for guidance, ask for divine assistance, and surround yourself with protective energy. Do not give in to fear, for fear is the enemy's most effective tool. Instead, stand firm in your faith and your connection to the divine. Secret 10, maintain an unshakable connection to the divine. The final secret is the foundation of all the others, maintaining an unshakable connection to the divine. Without this connection, none of the other secrets will hold. This connection is your lifeline. It is the source of your wisdom, your protection, and your power as a chosen one. How to strengthen your connection to the divine? First and foremost, make time for daily communion with the divine. Whether you call it prayer, meditation, or reflection, this time is sacred. It's when you align yourself with the higher forces guiding your life. It's when you receive the messages, insights, and direction that will help you fulfill your mission. Many chosen ones fall into the trap of busyness. The demands of the world, work, relationships, responsibilities can distract you from your spiritual practice. But let me be clear, neglecting your connection to the divine is the most dangerous thing you can do. And when you are disconnected, you become vulnerable to the chaos of the world. You lose sight of your purpose and you weaken your spiritual protection. Even Jesus, in the midst of his ministry, would often withdraw to solitary places to pray. Luke 5:16. He understood that his strength came from his connection to the Father. If Jesus needed that time to recharge, how much more do we? As a chosen one, you must prioritize this connection above all else. Developing spiritual listening. Another aspect of strengthening your connection to the divine is learning how to listen. Often we approach prayer or meditation as a one-sided conversation. We speak, we ask for guidance, but we forget to listen. The divine is always speaking to us through our intuition, through signs, through circumstances, but we must be attuned to hear it. Spiritual listening requires stillness. It requires quieting the noise of the world and the noise in your mind. When you learn to listen, you'll find that the answers to your questions are often already within you. The divine speaks through your intuition, through that still, small voice that nudges you in the right direction. But you must be willing to listen. Surrendering to the divine will, finally maintaining a strong connection to the divine, requires surrender. This doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means trusting that the divine has a plan for your life, and that plan is for your highest good. As a chosen one, your path may not always make sense to those around you, and it may not even make sense to you at times. But trust that every challenge, every lesson is part of your spiritual growth and your mission. Surrendering means letting go of the need to control everything. It means releasing your fears, your doubts, and your anxieties to the divine. When you surrender, you open yourself up to divine guidance and miracles. You begin to see that everything is working together for your good, even when it feels like it's falling apart. This is not blind faith, it's spiritual wisdom. It's the understanding that the Creator's plan is far greater than anything we can imagine. By surrendering to that plan, you align yourself with divine timing, divine wisdom, and divine power. The power of faith. Faith is the cornerstone of your connection to the divine. It is faith that sustains you when the path is unclear, when the challenges seem insurmountable, and when the world feels heavy. Faith reminds you that you are not alone, that you are divinely protected, and that your mission is guided by forces greater than you. As a chosen one, your faith will be tested. There will be times when you feel abandoned, when you doubt your purpose, and when the weight of the world feels unbearable. But in those moments, remember this: the divine never abandons those who are chosen. You are always being guided, even when you cannot see the way forward. Faith is not the absence of doubt, it is the decision to move forward despite it. It is the inner knowing that no matter what happens, you are on the right path. When you maintain faith, you keep your connection to the divine strong, and that connection will see you through any storm. Chosen ones, the journey you are on is sacred, but it is also filled with challenges. Spiritual protection and a strong connection to the divine are your greatest defenses. They are the foundation that allows you to walk this path with confidence, wisdom, and strength. Never neglect your connection to the divine. It is the source of your power, your guidance, and your protection. Keep your spirit aligned, guard your heart, and trust that every step you take is divinely orchestrated. With these secrets, you are now equipped to walk the path of the chosen with courage and spiritual authority. You are not alone. Forces greater than you are guiding your steps. Trust in that and know that you are here for a purpose far greater than you can imagine. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Stay protected, stay connected, and above all, stay faithful. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below, and let's continue to build a community of like-minded souls dedicated to spiritual growth and personal development. Stay blessed and continue shining your light. Until next time, thank you for being a part of Spirit Guide.